I've got beef with YouTube as a platform, but more particularly, I've got beef with the YouTube Premium, which I like to dub as YouTube Nomium instead. Across, I would say probably the past year, there's been numerous occasions where YouTube will ask if I would like to try out the Nomium subscription for 1 month free or 2 months free, and I decline it every single time. I just want to break down my thought process on why I have beef with the YouTube Nomium program or subscription or whatever you want to call it. While it does have some pros to it, I don't see a future where I'm ever going to support this because I got a lot of problems with the base YouTube experience that puts me in a position where I don't want to support this platform more than just uploading videos or commentating on other people's videos or providing my watch time to other individuals. One of the biggest beefs that I've had with YouTube for a long time is that YouTube allows certain content creators to get way bigger than what they deserve. Certain individuals have done very horrendous things and yet they're still allowed to have a platform on YouTube, like the Paul brothers, for example. I'm sure there's some individuals that recall the Japan Forest situation with one of the Paul brothers who thought it would be a good idea to actually do a recording of a very serious topic. Now, of course, that's just one example. And then of course you have your SS Sniper Wolf type people who literally just steal content and just re-upload it onto their channel, basically giving almost nothing worth of a reaction. It's not even bare minimum effort, not even doing anything to try to be transformative with the content, and also a lot of long-running history of not even giving credit to the original source. There are a lot of content creator channels like that out there where individuals will react to something, they don't even bother posting the original source, so that way people who may watch that said reaction can at least go look and see who originally created the video or the content, whatever the case may be. Another beef that I have with YouTube is there are a lot of scam ads that pop up on YouTube. I don't get them on PC, but whenever I'm on my phone, they come up quite frequently, like, oh, you know, sign up for this is a quick get rich quick scheme, or oh, you know, you might be entitled by this much money by the government, things along those lines. And while I'm on the topic of ads in general, one time, I kid you not, I was watching through a video and I got hit with an ad, and this ad was not an ad, it was literally a 45-minute podcast episode. I don't even remember what the podcast was, and I'm just thinking to myself, YouTube, have you completely forgotten what an ad is? An ad should be like no more than a minute. It shouldn't ever be a 45-minute podcast episode. YouTube is tripping. Another issue that I have with YouTube in general is that there has been a growing number of AI slop content channels that have popped up. I would say at least over the past year, maybe it's been longer than that, and I just can't take it. These channels basically will provide information, but all the text will be ran through an AI voice, and I get sick and tired of listening to the same AI voices over and over and over again. So normally now, whenever I hear one of these AI voices, I tend to just automatically click off the video more time than not. Now, as a content creator, I have to worry about copyright stuff. There used to be a time in an era where if I wanted to listen to, like, say, a rap song and I wanted to play it in a video, I would be able to do that and there wouldn't really be too many problems. Now these days, if I do that, I could very well get a copyright strike on a video, or it could just automatically be blocked, which kind of sucks. That's why if you see me use a song from, like, say, a rap artist, for example, or even in a more recent Honkai Star Rail video where I use Linkin Park instrumentals, I have to find covers or remade instrumentals if I don't want the video to get struck down. Now, I'm a little 50-50 on this aspect. On the one hand, I could understand not wanting to allow people to use the actual source material, like the actual full song with the lyrics, no alterations or anything like that, because it could pull traffic away from the original video where that individual or that label could make money off of. On the other hand, I feel like people should be able to freely use the music as long as they're not doing it for monetary gains or they're using the content in bad faith. So my channel, for example, is not monetized, so everything I do, I just upload just to be uploaded. And I've had a confliction with that for years. I have to be extremely cautious of what music I use. So if you tend to go to gaming channels and you see that they don't really have a lot of diversified music selection, probably a big part of the reason why. Copyright strikes or copyrights can really suck. It can nuke your video or potentially even nuke your whole entire channel. So it's better to play it safe than to be sorry. When it comes to getting notifications and whatnot, a lot of the times YouTube tends to not push out video content to everyone who might be subscribed to your channel. In fact, there are certain channels where I've been subscribed to for literally years and I don't even get any notifications when they upload a new video. Now, maybe I could go to those individual channels and click on the all section on the subscribe part to give me notifications on whenever they do any uploads. But if I subscribe to a channel, I do expect to get notifications when that person does upload things, and I shouldn't have to change the notification to all in order to get notifications as normal. Why isn't that just the default? If I subscribe to a channel channel, let me know when that person uploads a video. And whether I watch it or not is going to be up to me, but I'd rather know than to not know. This one pertains to YouTube, but it also pertains to just life in general as well as the internet. A lot of the times now in these days, people are rewarded for putting out bad information or misinformation, because it's not always about you being correct. It's more about, can you put out something that will evoke an emotional reaction out of somebody? Will it confine or basically further enable the emotional state that somebody may feel about a particular topic? So let's say, for example, I create a video and I say XYZ game is garbage. Even though the game isn't garbage, it could be a very solid game, but I phrase it like that. And let's just say hypothetically that blows up. Not only am I producing a lie, but I'm also telling the YouTube algorithm that, hey, YouTube, it's the audience wants negativity and it wants false information. I try to have nuance when I talk about a lot of topics, because very few things in life are as black and white as they may seem on the surface. And that's also a reason why I try to stay away from certain topics such as politics, for example, which that's another thing that I'll get into. There are a lot of content creators or influencers who try to get into the whole political thing, but unfortunately some of these individuals are just gamers. There's nothing wrong with that, but I do feel for people who want to get really heavy on the politics, while they are entitled to have an opinion, they shouldn't be held to the standard of somebody being informed, as well as, say, people who do political talk for a living. A lot of these commentators, such as like your Asmongold's, for example, or your Melanie Max, these are individuals who tend to have a one-way thinking track, and while they may not always be wrong in their viewpoints, there's definitely some red flags in the way they handle things. These individuals, in my opinion, should mainly stick to gaming topics where they're way more informed on things, instead of trying to put a political spin on so many things, which is unfortunately another issue that I've got with YouTube in general, and as well as the internet. Politics has gotten so ingrained that it's really bad in a lot of cases. Sometimes these politics can have a negative impact on how a game releases its future content, which that ended up having an impact on Honkai Star Rail's more recent 4.0 patch, which supposedly there was speculation that it was going to be heavily Japanese themed, but after the beef that was going on between China and Japan, essentially it was speculated that MiHoYo kind of had to go and make some last minute changes, hence why 3.8 patch ended up being 2 weeks longer. That's just one example. And of course, YouTube also has an issue with censoring content that might be very critical of YouTube or a particular situation, and YouTube will kind of shadow ban it in the sense of it won't push it out to as many people. This has happened to a certain content creator that I watched, like named FD Signifier or something along those lines. I tend to watch a good amount of his content, and YouTube can sometimes be pretty harsh on his videos, but thankfully he's got a supportive fan base, and they will normally view his video very quickly within the first 48 hours, make sure that he at least gets some traction on the video before YouTube smites it in any way, shape, or form. While I'm on this general topic of things that I got issues with, one other thing that I will talk about very briefly is the usage of AI. Now, if AI is used as a tool to help create some shortcuts in certain things, I'm a little iffy on it, but it kind of depends on the context. The reason why so many people have beef with AI is because a lot of companies and a lot of individuals are using AI as a way to completely replace human labor. It should be used as a supplementary tool in certain contexts, but the human should still be doing the mass majority of the work all the time, if not all the time. Now, if someone wants to use AI as like kind of a reference piece and then they create their own original piece off of that reference, I think that personally is fine. We've been seeing more and more news of more games using AI in their games as like placeholder assets, and I think as long as those assets are removed out of the game or there is a notification provided that there is still AI in the game, I think a lot of the consumer base will be happy about that. Honesty is the best policy, which, going back to YouTube, this is another issue that I have, is when a lot of individuals upload AI based content, they don't even specify that, hey, this is AI, or hey, there's AI content that has been used in this video. They will pass this video off as if it's 100% legit, even when it's not. And another issue that I have with AI in general, there are AI based channels that will do like AI hyper realistic trailers on like certain famous anime, for example, rather than be like Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, for example. And certain channels will end up getting like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views for these AI takes on these animes or on these games, for example. And I'm over here, I'm struggling. I'm like, bruh, this is why I don't really care too much in a sense of trying to make it big on YouTube, because there's just so many people that just put in like no effort and they get so much more mileage. And again, I'm not tooting my own horn and thinking I make super high quality content, because I don't, but at least in comparison, I feel like I do put in some effort. YouTube over the years has taught me that effort doesn't always have a direct correlation with results. Even if you do put out really decent content, somebody else could put in half the effort YouTuber take a whole bunch of shortcuts and cheat their way up to the top, and it is what it is. It is not really a great platform, and I think all of the major platforms, whether we talk about Kick, where there's illegal activity that tends to be happening on the streams itself, Twitch that went through a really bad era of like bathtub streams and like certain females being too exposing of themselves, or with YouTube with its double standards. None of these major platforms are without issues. All of them have their problems at the end of the day. None of them are perfect, but all of these platforms could also be better. Oh, and YouTube also has a security problem in my opinion as well, because those scam ads, if you click on one of them, you could end up getting your information scammed. But YouTube just allows those ads to be on their platform, and I really feel sorry for the individuals who end up clicking on them not knowing any better. Over the past couple of days, I came across a gaming channel that had about 1,000 subscribers, and there were numerous videos where the videos would only have like 100 to 200 like views, but then there would almost always be about like 100 comments and like 50 likes and whatnot. And I was just thinking to myself, okay, this doesn't add up. If your video has literally like 100 comments, your video is going to have way more than just 100 or 200 views, and it's definitely probably going to have a different number of likes. And I suspect that this individual was probably view botting their statistics more than likely, and there's no telling how many YouTube channels there are out there that are doing some form of a view botting in order to make their videos seem like they're performing better than what they actually are. I wish YouTube would do something about this, but more than likely YouTube will do nothing about it. Okay, that's everything I have for today's video. If you have taken out the time to listen to this or watch this, just want to say thank you for your time. You be safe out there. Deuces.